This video is about bagging fruit to protect it from critters using just regular window screen material. Now I started with this video and he just uses a flat piece of screen and zip ties it on. He's got some pretty big fruit there. I actually made like a little pyramid bag, and this video shows you like how I put this together. It's not rocket science, but I figured I would show you how I put that together. Basically, you just open up a hole in one of the ends and slip it over your fruit. So you start out making a equilateral triangle and fold it like this. So I cut a piece of foam just as a template, and I made it 1 foot, and that way you can get 3 of them across a 3-foot piece of screen. I didn't spend a dime on this. I happened to have this screen. So I cut out 12 of them just to start, and I'm using a propane torch, and I didn't know for sure if this would work, and it really doesn't work that great. The screen doesn't really melt. It kind of melts, and in this very first one that I did, I got it a little bit too hot, and you really don't want it to flame too much. And then put a piece of wood over it to sort of smash the 2 screen layers together, and it glues pretty good if you get the temperature just right. The best thing to do is to kind of warm it up a little bit, and then it does seem to need a little bit of flame to jump off of it before it's really hot enough. I'm not sure. If you get it too hot, it burns and then it doesn't stick like you saw just now. But anyway, you have 3 of these per equilateral triangle, and then you end up with this pyramid bag, and then you can cut the end off. And this is some of my earlier attempts. Later attempts, I was a little bit more gentle with the flame. I kept it a little bit farther away, waited for it to heat up a little bit, and then went down and got just one little flash point of whatever's coming off. Some poisonous thing is probably killing me, but I'm already dying. So anyway, you get 3 seams, if you will, that you kind of glue together using heat. One of the reasons I did this is because I had the materials already, and it was cheap, and I didn't really feel like spending a bunch of money on some special purpose for keeping the critters off. So you end up with a pyramid bag like that, and then you just cut the tip off one and pull it apart with your fingers, which like I'm showing you now. And then you put it over your plant, and then you put it over your fruit, and then you zip tie it on there. So I didn't say, but last year I had a whole bunch of apples, and I went away for a couple weeks, and I came back and there was no apples, like 0. It was like 1 way up high. I don't know what happened to them, but I figured that the deer or the squirrels or somebody got to them. So I figured I'd go ahead and make some of these. So I made a dozen bags, and I had actually had some screen from that I did the day before, and I didn't do this. And it was kind of unwieldy to take a flat piece of screen and try to wrap it around and zip tie it. It didn't seem to work very good. This is a little bit challenging too when you put it on there, because you got to open up a hole in it and then get all the leaves in there. And I don't know, the leaves are kind of crammed in there. I'm kind of afraid that they'll, it'll rain and they'll get moldy or something, or whatever, mildew or whatever happens. I'm not a plant person, really. This is kind of not my forte. But here I'm a little bit more gently, and then it flashes, and then I put the wood down there. So this is a little bit of a long video here on on one of the later ones. The earlier ones, I hadn't, not like I perfected my skills in 12 instances, but this is probably number 11 or 12 here that I'm showing you. As soon as I see that flash, I drop that other piece of wood on it, and it seems to glue together pretty well. So I ended up with a pile of these bags, and now I'm going to just go ahead and put them over the apples. So what I did is I just cut the tip off of one tip off, and then depending upon how how well they heat bonded, some of these pull apart pretty easily, some of them pull apart harder. That one pulled apart pretty easily. This one, not too bad. This one, a little bit harder. So anyway, you pull it apart, open up a little hole, and then stick it over your fruit. And my little apples are pretty little, but here's an example. Those are about marble size, I guess. And I just try to squish the leaves together that are on, that are surrounding the fruit, and then just kind of wrangle it into the bag, hopefully not damaging too many leaves and anything. Once they're in there, something like this, then I kind of fold around the bag and try to force a zip tie through the screen. If you push this little zip tie through, it'll push through the screen, and so you can get that sealed on there, tucked down there pretty good. You can actually put these zip ties backwards so that they don't zip, and you could reuse them, but they're cheap. You get about dozens for the pennies, so I don't know too much about that. But I put some on backwards by mistake, and I realized they held. So anyway, that's all there is to see. I think I'll do one more here at the end of this video, but you've seen everything there is to see. And thanks for staying tuned. Hopefully this will give you some ideas. And I would look forward to having anyone comment on the stuff that I'm doing wrong here, or improvements that could be made, or whatever. And like I said, this is not my main focus. It's just something that I decided to try to do since I had these apple trees, and I wanted to protect at least some of the fruit so that I get it. And I don't mind the critters getting some. Geez, last year I got like nothing. So anyway, hope you enjoy.